Question 1. What is the primary purpose of the Firearm Safety Certificate, FSC, in California? A. To serve as a permit to carry a concealed firearm. B. To verify the applicant's knowledge of firearm safety principles and laws before purchasing or acquiring a firearm. C. To allow the applicant to possess any type of firearm. D. To replace background checks for firearm purchases. Answer: B. To verify the applicant's knowledge of firearm safety principles and laws before purchasing or acquiring a firearm. Explanation: the core function of the Firearm Safety Certificate, FSC, in California is to ensure that individuals attempting to purchase or acquire a firearm have demonstrated a basic understanding of safe gun handling, storage, and relevant state laws. Passing the FSC test is a mandatory step before completing a firearm transaction through a licensed dealer. It acts as a foundational knowledge check, not a permit to carry or a substitute for background checks. Think of it as proving you know the fundamental rules before you get the equipment. Question 2. Which of the following is a key principle of safe firearm storage in California homes, especially with children present? A. Storing the firearm loaded and easily accessible for quick defense. B. Storing the firearm unloaded and locked, separate from ammunition. C. Hiding the firearm somewhere children won't look. D. Keeping the firearm in a closet, even if unlocked. Answer: B. Storing the firearm unloaded and locked, separate from ammunition. Explanation: secure storage is crucial for preventing unauthorized access and accidental shootings, particularly in homes with children. California law emphasizes storing firearms unloaded and in a locked container or secured with a locking device, with ammunition stored separately. This practice adds multiple layers of security, significantly reducing the risk of a tragedy. Always make sure your firearms are inaccessible and unusable by anyone who shouldn't have them. Question 3. When handling a firearm you believe to be unloaded, according to fundamental safety rules, how should you treat it? A. As if it is loaded. B. As if it is definitely unloaded. C. Point it in any direction since it's unloaded. D. Hand it to someone else immediately. Answer: A. As if it is loaded. Explanation: the first fundamental rule of firearm safety is to always treat every firearm as if it is loaded, regardless of whether you believe it is or not. This mindset prevents complacency and ensures that you maintain safe handling practices, such as controlling the muzzle direction, at all times. Even experienced shooters have made catastrophic mistakes by assuming a firearm was empty. Adopting this cautious approach eliminates a major source of accidental discharges. Question 4. What is the purpose of a firearm safety mechanism? A. To make the firearm completely incapable of firing. B. To prevent accidental discharge when properly engaged, but it is not a substitute for safe handling. C. To indicate whether the firearm is loaded or unloaded. D. To improve the firearm's accuracy. Answer: B. To prevent accidental discharge when properly engaged, but it is not a substitute for safe handling. Explanation: a safety mechanism is designed to help prevent the firearm from firing when it is properly engaged, acting as an additional mechanical safeguard. However, relying solely on a safety is dangerous. It is a mechanical device that can fail and does not replace following all fundamental safety rules. Safeties are tools to aid safe handling, not guarantee it, so always combine their use with safe practices like keeping your finger off the trigger until ready to shoot. Remember, the safety is a supplement, not a substitute, for safe habits. Question 5. Which action should you take immediately upon picking up a firearm or having one handed to you? A. Place your finger on the trigger. B. Point the muzzle in a safe direction and verify its condition, loaded or unloaded. C. Test the safety mechanism. D. Hand it back if you aren't going to use it immediately. Answer: B. Point the muzzle in a safe direction and verify its condition, loaded or unloaded. Explanation: the very first action when handling any firearm is to control the direction the muzzle is pointing, ensuring it's towards a safe backstop where an accidental shot would cause no harm. Simultaneously, you must visually and physically check the firearm to confirm whether it is loaded or unloaded. This critical initial check, combined with muzzle control, prevents negligent discharges from mishandling a firearm of unknown status. Always make establishing a safe muzzle direction and confirming the firearm's condition your automatic first steps. Question 6. If you are a California Concealed Carry Weapon (CCW) license holder and are stopped by law enforcement, what is generally recommended regarding informing the officer you are carrying? A. You are legally required to immediately announce you are carrying a firearm. B. You should wait for the officer to ask if you are carrying. C. You should immediately inform the officer you are a CCW holder and are armed, and ask how they would like you to proceed. D. You should attempt to conceal your firearm more effectively. Answer: C. You should immediately inform the officer you are a CCW holder and are armed, and ask how they would like you to proceed. Explanation: while California state law does not mandate informing law enforcement during a stop, unless asked, many issuing agencies require it as a condition of the CCW license. Proactively and calmly informing the officer that you are a CCW holder and have a firearm, then asking for their instructions, demonstrates respect and transparency, which helps de-escalate the situation and ensures your safety and theirs. This proactive approach is widely taught in CCW courses for a reason: it helps ensure a safe interaction. Question 7. According to California law, what is the minimum age to purchase a handgun? A. 18 years old. B. 21 years old. C. 25 years old. D. 30 years old. Answer: B. 21 years old. Explanation: federal law requires individuals to be 21 years old to purchase handguns from licensed dealers, and California law aligns with this requirement. This age restriction is in place for various legal and safety considerations. Understanding the minimum age is important for anyone looking to acquire a handgun legally in the state. Remember, age requirements are set to help ensure responsible firearm ownership. Question 8. What is trigger discipline? A. The ability to shoot accurately under pressure. B. Keeping your finger outside the trigger guard and off the trigger until your sights are on the target and you have decided to shoot. C. The practice of keeping your firearm unloaded until you are ready to shoot. D. The technique of pulling the trigger smoothly. Answer: B. Keeping your finger outside the trigger guard and off the trigger until your sights are on the target and you have decided to shoot. Explanation: trigger discipline is a crucial safety practice that prevents accidental discharges by ensuring your finger only contacts the trigger when the firearm is pointed at the intended target and you are ready to fire. Restraining your finger from the trigger guard until the decisive moment eliminates the risk of an involuntary muscle spasm or surprise causing a shot. Maintaining proper trigger discipline is a fundamental habit for safe handling. Question 9. Why is it dangerous to shoot at a flat, hard surface or water? A. The bullet might not penetrate and won't hit the target. B. The bullet is likely to ricochet, bounce off, in an unpredictable direction. C. The sound will be excessively loud. D. The firearm might malfunction. Answer: B. The bullet is likely to ricochet, bounce off, in an unpredictable direction. Explanation: shooting at hard, flat surfaces like rock or steel, or even at the surface of water, poses a significant ricochet risk. The bullet can deflect unpredictably, potentially traveling long distances and causing injury or damage far from the intended target. Always ensure your shooting backdrop is capable of safely stopping and containing bullets. Avoid shooting surfaces that could send the bullet back at you or others. Question 10. When is it permissible to remove your firearm from its holster while carrying concealed in a public place, assuming it is legal to carry in that location? A. Any time you feel threatened. B. Only when you reasonably believe it is necessary to defend yourself or another person from an imminent threat of death or serious bodily injury. C. To show it to someone who asks to see it. D. To adjust your clothing or the holster. Answer: B. Only when you reasonably believe it is necessary to defend yourself or another person from an imminent threat of death or serious bodily injury. Explanation: a concealed firearm is intended for use only as a last resort in self-defense against a credible, imminent threat of death or serious harm. Drawing a firearm in public for any other reason, such as feeling slightly uncomfortable or showing it off, is illegal and extremely dangerous. Your CCW license permits carry for self-defense, not casual handling or intimidation. Only draw your firearm when facing a threat justifying the use of deadly force. Question 11. What is the proper method for clearing a semi-automatic pistol? A. Remove the magazine, then cycle the slide to extract any round from the chamber, and visually and physically inspect the chamber and magazine well. B. Simply remove the magazine. C. Just cycle the slide once. D. Point the muzzle in a safe direction and pull the trigger. Answer: A. Remove the magazine, then cycle the slide to extract any round from the chamber, and visually and physically inspect the chamber and magazine well. Explanation: properly clearing a semi-automatic pistol involves multiple steps to ensure it is safe and unloaded. First, remove the source of ammunition, the magazine. Second, cycle the slide forcefully to eject any round that might be in the chamber. Finally, perform both a visual inspection, looking, and a physical inspection, feeling, of the chamber and magazine well to positively confirm they are empty. Never rely on just one step. Always double-check the chamber and magazine well. Question 12. Which of the following locations is generally considered a sensitive place, where carrying a concealed firearm is prohibited in California, even with a CCW license? A. A public park. B. A private residence, with the owner's permission. C. A K-12 school campus. D. A retail store that sells groceries. Answer: C. A K-12 school campus. Explanation: California law, including recent updates reflected in legislation like SB 2, designates numerous sensitive places where carrying firearms is restricted or prohibited, even for CCW holders. School campuses, from kindergarten through high school, are prominent examples of these areas due to the vulnerability of children. Always be aware of locations where your CCW rights are restricted. Knowing prohibited locations is as important as knowing where you can carry. Question 13. What should you do if a firearm fails to fire when the trigger is pulled, misfire, or click, no bang? A. Immediately open the action to clear the malfunction. B. Point the muzzle in a safe direction, keep your finger off the trigger, and wait a short period, e.g., 30 to 60 seconds, before attempting to clear the malfunction. C. Rapidly pull the trigger again. D. Hand the firearm to someone else to fix. Answer: B. Point the muzzle in a safe direction, keep your finger off the trigger, and wait a short period, e.g., 30 to 60 seconds, before attempting to clear the malfunction. Explanation: if a firearm goes click but doesn't fire, it could be a delayed ignition, hang fire, where the primer ignites but takes a moment to ignite the powder. Keeping the muzzle pointed in a safe direction for a short wait ensures that if it is a hang fire, the round fires into a safe backstop. Only after waiting should you attempt to clear the malfunction according to the firearms manual. Patience and muzzle control are key during a misfire. Question 14. Under California law, who is prohibited from possessing firearms? A. Only individuals convicted of violent felonies. B. Individuals convicted of certain felonies and misdemeanors, persons with specific mental health adjudications, and those subject to domestic violence restraining orders, among others. C. Only persons under the age of 18. D. Anyone who has not completed a hunter safety course. Answer. B. Individuals convicted of certain felonies and misdemeanors, persons with specific mental health adjudications, and those subject to domestic violence restraining orders, among others. Explanation. California and federal laws identify several categories of individuals prohibited from owning or possessing firearms, including those with convictions for various felonies and certain misdemeanors, individuals deemed a danger to themselves or others by a court due to mental health issues, and persons subject to specific types of restraining orders. It is the individual's responsibility to know if they fall into a prohibited category before attempting to acquire or possess a firearm. Understanding prohibited categories is essential for legal compliance. Question 15. What is the purpose of the 10-day waiting period for firearm purchases in California? A. To allow the purchaser time to reconsider the purchase. B. To provide time for law enforcement to complete the background check and to create a cooling-off period. C. To allow the dealer time to order the specific firearm. D. To give the state time to register the firearm in a database. Answer. B. To provide time for law enforcement to complete the background check and to create a cooling-off period. Explanation. The mandatory 10-day waiting period in California serves two main purposes. It allows sufficient time for the California Department of Justice to conduct a thorough background check on the purchaser and acts as a cooling-off period, potentially preventing impulsive acts of violence. The firearm cannot be transferred to the buyer until this period has elapsed and the background check is approved. This delay is a key part of California's firearm regulations. Question 16. When storing a firearm for self-defense at home, which option balances readiness and safety? A. Storing it loaded in a drawer next to the bed. B. Storing it unloaded with ammunition stored separately in a locked container far from the firearm. C. Storing it loaded in a quick-access safe that is securely mounted. D. Hiding it unloaded under the mattress with ammunition nearby. Answer. C. Storing it loaded in a quick-access safe that is securely mounted. Explanation. For self-defense purposes, the firearm needs to be accessible quickly, but safety remains paramount, especially in homes with others. A quick-access safe, like a biometric or keypad safe, allows authorized users rapid access while keeping the firearm securely locked and inaccessible to others. The safe should be securely mounted to prevent theft. This method provides responsible access for defense while maintaining a high level of safety. Question 17. If carrying a concealed firearm, what is the importance of selecting a proper holster? A. A holster is optional, carrying directly in a pocket is sufficient. B. A proper holster protects the trigger, retains the firearm securely, and allows for safe drawing and reholstering. C. The holster's main purpose is to make the firearm invisible. D. Any pouch or bag can serve as a holster. Answer. B. A proper holster protects the trigger, retains the firearm securely, and allows for safe drawing and reholstering. Explanation. A well-designed holster is critical for safely carrying a concealed firearm. It must completely cover the trigger guard to prevent accidental pressure on the trigger, securely retain the firearm during movement, and facilitate a safe and efficient draw stroke and the equally important safe reholstering process without looking. Using a quality holster designed for your specific firearm is a non-negotiable aspect of safe concealed carry. A good holster is a vital piece of safety equipment. Question 18. What is the safest way to hand a firearm to another person? A. Hand it to them loaded with the safety on. B. Hand it to them unloaded, action open if possible, magazine removed, and with the muzzle pointing in a safe direction. C. Hand it to them grip first, without checking its condition. D. Set it down for them to pick up. Answer: B. Hand it to them unloaded, action open if possible, magazine removed, and with the muzzle pointing in a safe direction. Explanation: when transferring a firearm to another person, safety demands that you present it in the safest possible condition. This means ensuring it is unloaded, visually and physically verifying, removing the magazine, and ideally leaving the action open to clearly show it's empty. Throughout the transfer, maintain control of the muzzle, keeping it pointed in a safe direction. This procedure leaves no doubt about the firearm's status and minimizes risk during the exchange. Question 19. What is the recommended immediate response if you encounter a person who is dangerously mishandling a firearm? A. Grab the firearm from them immediately. B. Ignore them and walk away quickly. C. Seek cover, verbally warn them if possible without escalating the situation, and contact law enforcement. D. Advise them loudly on proper technique. Answer: C. Seek cover, verbally warn them if possible without escalating the situation, and contact law enforcement. Explanation: confronting someone dangerously mishandling a firearm is extremely risky. Your priority is your own safety and the safety of others. Seeking cover protects you from potential accidental or intentional shots. A calm verbal warning might make them aware of their danger, but avoid aggressive actions. The most responsible and effective action is to immediately notify law enforcement, who are trained to handle such situations. Your safety is paramount, call the experts. Question 20. Before cleaning a firearm, what is the most important step to take? A. Gather all your cleaning supplies. B. Make sure the firearm is pointed in a safe direction and is completely unloaded. C. Read the firearms manual. D. Ensure you have adequate lighting. Answer: B. Make sure the firearm is pointed in a safe direction and is completely unloaded. Explanation: cleaning requires extensive handling of the firearm's action and components. The absolute prerequisite before beginning any cleaning or maintenance is to ensure the firearm is pointed in a safe direction and is verified as completely unloaded, magazine removed, chamber empty. Failing to do this before manipulating the firearm is a common cause of accidental discharges during cleaning. Always confirm unloaded status before starting maintenance. Question 21. What is the primary reason for using eye and ear protection when shooting? A. To improve accuracy. B. To prevent injury from muzzle blast, ejected casings, and loud noise. C. To look professional on the range. D. To keep dust out of your eyes and ears. Answer: B. To prevent injury from muzzle blast, ejected casings, and loud noise. Explanation: discharging a firearm creates significant hazards to your eyes and ears. Muzzle blast can propel debris, ejected cartridge casings are hot and sharp, and the noise level is well above the threshold for causing permanent hearing damage. Protective eyewear shields your eyes, while ear protection, muffs or plugs, reduces the sound to a safe level. Always wear appropriate eye and ear protection when shooting. Protecting your senses is non-negotiable at the range. Question 22. When participating in a firearm training course, what is the correct response to the instructor issuing a ceasefire command? A. Finish firing the rounds already started. B. Immediately stop shooting, keep the muzzle pointed downrange, remove your finger from the trigger, and wait for further instructions. C. Place the firearm on the bench and step back. D. Unload the firearm and holster it. Answer: B. Immediately stop shooting, keep the muzzle pointed downrange, remove your finger from the trigger, and wait for further instructions. Explanation: ceasefire command indicates an immediate stop to all shooting activity, often due to a safety issue or to give new instructions. Your immediate actions must be to stop firing, maintain positive control of the muzzle pointed downrange, the safest direction, and remove your finger from the trigger. Do not move forward, unload, or handle the firearm further until the instructor gives clear permission. An immediate stop is crucial for range safety. Question 23. If you have a Firearm Safety Certificate, FSC, does this permit you to carry a loaded firearm in public? A. Yes, the FSC is the permit for carrying firearms. B. No, the FSC only allows you to purchase or acquire firearms. Carrying in public requires a separate concealed carry weapon, CCW, license and adherence to specific laws. C. Yes, you can open carry with an FSC. D. Only if the firearm is unloaded. Answer. B. No, the FSC only allows you to purchase or acquire firearms. Carrying in public requires a separate concealed carry weapon, CCW, license and adherence to specific laws. Explanation. The Firearm Safety Certificate, FSC, is proof of having passed a safety test required for acquiring firearms in California. It is not a permit to carry. Carrying a concealed firearm in public requires obtaining a separate concealed carry weapon, CCW, license from your local issuing authority, sheriff or police chief, and adhering to all associated regulations and restrictions. The FSC and a CCW license are distinct and serve different purposes. Question 24. When is it acceptable to point a firearm at something you do not intend to shoot? A. When playing with the firearm to practice aiming. B. When showing someone how the sights work. C. Never, unless it is a designated safe direction or an approved target during shooting practice. D. When unloading the firearm. Answer. C. Never, unless it is a designated safe direction or an approved target during shooting practice. Explanation. A fundamental safety rule is to never point the muzzle of a firearm at anything you are not willing to destroy or shoot. This means the only permissible targets are safe directions, where an accidental shot would do no harm, or approved targets downrange on a firing range. This rule prevents tragedies that can occur from pointing a firearm, even believed to be unloaded, at people or property. Always control where your muzzle points. Question 25. What is the potential consequence of using reloaded ammunition improperly or ammunition not suited for your specific firearm? A. Reduced accuracy. B. Damage to the firearm, malfunction, or even injury to the shooter. C. The firearm may become dirty faster. D. The ammunition may not feed correctly. Answer. B. Damage to the firearm, malfunction, or even injury to the shooter. Explanation. Using ammunition that is improperly reloaded, damaged, or not specifically recommended for your firearm can be extremely dangerous. It can cause excessive pressure, leading to catastrophic failure of the firearm, malfunctions like jams, or even cause injury to the shooter or bystanders. Always use commercially manufactured ammunition appropriate for your firearm's caliber and chamber specifications. Stick to the right ammo for your gun's health and your safety.